Hello? 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 Okay. Hello? Okay. Lanisha's still probably in class. It is my pleasure in welcoming today's special guest, Mr. Samir Sheikh. Sir is a passionate health and fitness coach, having spent several years in the corporate world, be it in hospitality or aviation. His continuous interest in training and teaching led him into launching ninjafit. Sir holds a Level 3 certification from the Personal Training Academy Global and PNL1 certification from Precision Nutrition. He is also currently training to be certified as a CrossFit Level 1 trainer and an animal flow instructor. He enjoys weightlifting, creating his own flows, and focuses a lot on building core strength. His favorite movements are the mighty deadlift and bench press. Sir specializes in strength and conditioning, muscle gain, fat loss, and nutrition consultation. He has his own ways of coaching and works with training the mind and body, having a strong mindset and keeping it simple in his own way. Everyone, let's welcome Sir with a huge round of applause. Over to you, sir.
It's here, right? Good morning, everyone. My name is Samir. Thank you for a lovely introduction. You said a lot of things, actually. Very overwhelmed, but it was a really nice surprise. My name is Samir, as you guys know. I'm a founder of ninjafit. Our mission is to transform and empower individuals to meet their health and fitness goals. As he said, that I'm biomechanics expert, strength coach, and a dedicated certified nutritionist. My area of expertise, you could say, more about nutrition and strength training. So been enjoying that for quite a few years now. And here today, with you, in front of you, we're going to discuss and explore incredible world of sleep. Yes, we'll dive deeper into why we sleep, how much sleep do we need, what nutrition that you can have to sleep better, and all other secrets about sleep. So are you guys ready? Cool. Cool. The first question is, have you ever wondered why we sleep? Anybody? Yes, please. Yes, you. Absolutely. We sleep because there are lots of benefits for the body that we get because of sleep. Let's get you back to how evolutionary point of view we started sleeping. Early humans, when they were roaming Earth, they did not have any technological advancements as such, as you studied before. So when harsher environments, they were just maybe hunting or gathering or foraging. It was very difficult to see in the night. And dangers were lurking everywhere. So they decided it's sensible to huddle up and stay together and staying safe. While staying safe in the night and sleeping, they realized that they're becoming more smarter. They're becoming more smarter than other animals and mammals. So evolutionary point of view, sleep has been the cornerstone for human evolution. Not only it was the idea of survival, but staying safe and becoming smarter, we have evolved as an incredible human that we are today. So, one question to everybody. Today, if you live up to 90 years, how many years of sleep you must have had? Anybody? Tell me.
Around 1/3 of your life is spent sleeping.
You studied well. Yes, so how many years that's going to be? How many years is that going to be?
Around 25 years.
Around 25 to 30 years. You guys much younger than that. That means sleep is very important, a fundamental necessity for our well-being. Sleep is something that you cannot avoid. When I was growing up, I thought sleep was waste of time. I'm sure most of you must be thinking that way. But sleep is very important for physiological, brain, and overall health. So are you excited to dive into the world of sleep? Cool, let's go. Why do we sleep? Now you know that 1/3 of time that we spend sleeping, what are the benefits of sleeping? Because benefits are sleeping sorry for that. Benefits of sleeping is why we need sleep physiologically. One of the girls said, we need to sleep to recharge and recover. Absolutely. To sake of this presentation, we're going to divide why we need to sleep in 4 benefits. The first benefit is going to be consolidating memories. That basically just means taking care of your brain. That's more relatable for you guys because you're learning every day. Sleep by itself, it changes the brain's anatomy, to be honest. When you're sleeping, you have lots of dreams. Yeah? The more that you dream, the more you are, let's say, resting your brain. Absolutely. Dreams are like, it's movies. This is how I see. The more that you dream, the more movies you're watching while you're snoozing. But dreams help you prioritize your day, process your day, and memories and thoughts. Those have been transferred from just an activity, like processing them and consolidating them and moving them from short-term memories to long-term memories. So sleep for your brain health is very imperative because you're learning. If you don't sleep properly, you don't focus more. You don't focus more, your learning ability gets down, and you most of the time feel very grumpy. And your ability to learn anything, your motor skills, your critical thinking takes a lot of hit because of sleep. So, we sleep because we need to actually take care of your brain. Consolidating memories. What it could be the second reason that we sleep? Anybody? Anything with the physical health? Yes.
I know a fact about digestion during sleep.
Cool, tell me.
Basically, when we digest, our stomach wall breaks down, and at the night, a chemical is released to restore it. So when we sleep, we don't take any food, so it gives the time for the body to repair the digestive system better.
Partially true, yes, it does repair the digestive system. But what happens if you eat food and sleep? You still digesting? Yes, so I'll tell you what happens. It's basically when you eat food closer to your bedtime, you have something called a digestion process, which takes almost 2 to 3 hours. So you eat that food, it gets digested in your stomach, from your slow intestine goes to a larger intestine. But that entire work is very energy efficient. That means it requires a little bit more energy. When we all are sleeping, there are some physiological changes happening, which you need to know, and I'll cover them later. But just to tell you in a short, your physical temperature or the core temperature of the body has to reduce. Have you ever heard yourself or someone else sleeping in a hotter environment and they're sleeping properly? Absolutely not. The colder the environment is, the better the sleep will be. So yes, one of the benefits of sleeping could be repair, yes, rest and repair of the body. So when you go to sleep, sleep is like a magical workshop for the body. It has their own skill labors which repairs the muscle and the tissue. So if you've been moving around the entire day, playing games and jumping and hooping around, you have a lot of wear and tear of the body. And in the sleep, body prioritizes to repair those muscles and tissues. So it's very important for your physiological health that you sleep, then you can recover and recharge and get ready on the next day. Makes sense? There are days that you guys sleep, but you don't get into enough of sleep. That means we will cover the sleep cycle later, but we'll just jump into a bit more now here. There are days that you guys sleep and get up and you still feel tired. Have you had those days? No, you're too young to have those? Okay. So there are days for the adult people also and for kids also, I'm sure. When you guys sleep, maybe the temperature wasn't enough. Maybe you've eaten food very close to your sleeping time. And you do not goes into those sleep cycle where the deep restorative sleep happens. The deep restorative sleep for the body will make sure that you repair and get ready for the next day. So it's one of the most important functions that we need to sleep is to recover our wear and tear. What could be the next important function? What do you think about our immunity? What happens? Anybody? No? Okay. If you falling sick, chances are that you're not sleeping well. Why? Because when you're sleeping, your immunity actually goes to work. It fights the germs and bacteria that have been building up the entire day. It increases in a way wherein you don't get common colds and other infections like communicable diseases. That all happens in the middle of the night when you're sleeping. So if you don't sleep enough, your immunity takes the hit and you are very prone to get sick even faster. So have you ever wondered, your parents must be telling you when you get sick, sleep more? That's what happens because your body needs to rest to recover. So one of the important functions that we need to sleep is to increase our immunity. What could be one of the most important functions for you guys to relatable? It's going to be growing tall and strong. What happens actually when you sleep, there is something called growth hormones. Like when you're growing, let me put it this way, when you're growing, sleep is your best friend. It's like that potion of growth. When you're sleeping, and there are certain timings depending upon the body types, when you're sleeping, you release growth hormones. Sorry? You release growth hormones, and that happens most of the time between 11 to 4, 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. Now, if someone of you are sleeping quite late, it's not happening. That means most of the time, you're not getting the benefit of release of that growth hormone, and that's why sometimes growing tall and getting strong is slightly difficult for most of the kids. Yes? So, growing stronger, growing taller, getting healthier because you increase in immunity, you getting muscle and getting recharged and getting smarter. All of these benefits, does it sound familiar to you that you guys all need this? Yes? No? Yes, I think everybody needs this. So, getting smarter with the brain is sleep. Again, rest and repair is for the muscles. Immunity is for your getting healthier. And growing tall and strong is basically for everybody. So make sure that you actually sleep as much as you can from the time that we're going to discuss next slide. You know why we sleep. Do you know how much do we need to sleep? Yes, there are a lot of hands up. Tell me. 8 hours? 8 hours? 7 to 10 hours? Okay. No? You don't want to say? Yes. 9 to 12 hours. You're somewhere closer. Yes, you? Absolutely. You read that slide? Did you? Yes. But they need to have the phone and tablets to learn, no? Yes. Yes. Creativity.
Thanks, Jasper. I go to train every morning with Mr. Samir Sheikh. I do training with him, okay? He trains me early in the morning. And I know I have to get up at 4:30 in order to leave my house at 5:30. So it's not about buses coming later or school starting later. It's about you knowing I have to reach school at 7:30. So what time should I sleep in order to get my 8 hours of sleep or 7 hours of sleep? There are fixed things. If I have to come to school, I know what time I have to leave the house in order, the traffic is there. Now, if you don't plan properly, you can blame everyone. Once in a while, missing out on that 7 hours of sleep or 8 hours of sleep might happen. But if it becomes a daily habit, then your brains are not working optimally. And as you're growing, it needs more energy, and you have exams and lots of things to focus on. How many of you find it difficult, especially during the examinations, to sleep? Honest, I'm not talking about hours of sleep. Why do you think that is? Stress. I leave it to you.
Yeah, actually, when you sleep later, we'll talk about in sleep cycle, more than it doing good to you, staying awake and studying, is actually doing harm, because your recall ability and memorizing ability is most to nil. You cannot remember things, your brain gets foggy. So and I've been part of that. When I was in school, I used to study, but lesson learned, and that is why I all here, is that to teach you guys the best practices of studying. So staying awake and studying is something that you should be avoiding as much as you can. Getting more sleep is, in fact, a best strategy for you, an optimal strategy for you to remember things in your exams. Absolutely. Moving on. Now, there are two factors that depends upon how much sleep do you need. You guys have given amazing answers, but as you age, basically, as younger that you get, so since imagine a newborn baby to the age group of 12 to 14, your sleeping is going to be massive chunk of your day, because there are a variety of things that goes into picture. Let's talk about the energy expenditure. When you're growing, your body is growing, your brain is growing at lightning speed. Absolutely. As we said before, if you're growing, you need to have something called growth hormones to grow stronger, taller. So there is a lot of demand from the body. Absolutely. And also, you are really active. So all of these reasons, you need to sleep more to recover better and get ready for the next day. So there are different age groups have different sleeps, and we're going to play a game. I'm going to play age between 6 to 8. How many hours sleep do you think need? Tell me. 10 to 12? You're very close. I think you're right almost. It's 10 to 12. She's given a right answer. 9 to 11 hours, almost. So between 9 to 11 years, how many hours of sleep do you think you need? It's going to be more, or it's going to be less? It's going to be less. Why do you think it's going to be less? You don't think they are exerting the same amount of energy as their counterparts of 6 to 8 years old? In fact, you'll be more active, isn't it? Because now you know how to walk, how to run, how to play games. Tell me. Yeah.
Sir, as we grow old, we have a lot of stress about different things.
Yes.
That reduces our sleep time and sleep quality because now we learn about different stuff. At 6 to 8, there are few responsibilities. But when you grow older, you get more responsibilities.
How old are you?
That 12,
12. You don't think you have stress?
somewhat, because
You
of
do?
exams.
Yes. What stress levels that can be? Stress is not only psychological. It can be physiological. If you get hurt, isn't that a stress?
Yeah.
So you think when you get hurt or you get sick, you sleep properly?
No.
No. Most important, when you're actually young, you need more sleep because, as I said, you're growing. Your energy demand from the body is higher. But that is also, it's a stress. So stress could be physiological or psychological. Stress is stress. Body cannot make any differentiation between the stress because hormones does not know when they get released. It's a physiological stress or it's a psychological stress. But what you said is right. Depending upon the stress is going to affect your sleep. But the age between 6 to 11, I guess you should be sleeping almost the same time. It is not me, these are studies which have happened, and they realize optimal sleeping zone for the young kids could be between almost 10 to 12 hours. And where you see the kids is more happy, they're more focused, they are more energized, and they're doing a lot of things at one go. Cool? So, yes, stress is important. We'll talk about stress and how it affects your sleep. But at this moment, I feel 9 to 11 hours is easy for everybody. So what time you guys are sleeping? Generally, 9 o'clock? 10 o'clock? What time you have to get up for a school? 5:30? 6 o'clock? Okay, let's count 6 o'clock for everybody, just for the example reason. So if you're sleeping at 10:30 and you're getting up at 6 o'clock, how many hours sleep is that? Almost 9 hours, like? Who's good at maths here? 10:30 is 6 plus, yeah, it's 7.5 hours. 10:30, yeah, it's 7.5 hours. So you think you're losing almost, let's say this parameter, which is the bare minimum parameter, you're losing almost 1.5 hours of sleep. Isn't it? Now, that does affect overall, there's something called sleep depth. So you keep getting the debts if you're not sleeping and recovering properly. So 1.5 hours of sleep that you'll be missing every day, it'll overall, within next few days, will create a lot of sleep debt. And sleep debt will have, again, the problem mostly with your brain function. What I mean by that is your recallability, as I said, sense of motor skills, your memory, your learning, all hampers because of that. I would suggest you need to go to the bed at least by 9 minimum. 9 is 1.5 hours before that, so it's at least bare minimum 9. You do that for 1 or 2 weeks and see your energies. You'll be a different person altogether. Cool? So 9 to 11 hours for age between 6 to 11. What do you think for young champions from 12 to 14 will be? Anybody can raise their hands. You think we are going in ascending order, descending order? Perfect. So you think it'll be more or less? Less? Can you tell me how much it will be?
10 to 12.
7 to 10 hours.
Yeah, 7
Close. Close. It's 8 to 10 hours. Cool. So you're still growing, you're still moving, you still need that much of energy in the daytime. The demand is higher, you still need to sleep. So if you realize from this 6 to 14 years, you're sleeping almost 9 to 10 hours every day. And if you do that for regular intervals, you will see the difference in all the facets of your life. So whatever that you guys are doing will help. You're learning something new skill, it's going to help to focus more, to learn better, and to do well. Just not being a participant, but just actually winning the competitions. I feel that's going to make a lot of difference for all of you guys. So the question here, if as a young kid we're sleeping almost as 9 to 10 hours and 11 hours, how many hours babies sleep? 15 to 16 hours. 14. Yes, you're right. Almost between 14 to 17 hours of the day. And why do you think that's happened? Because
When babies are born, they are quite young and they need more energy.
And don't you think you're quite young and you need energy too?
Yeah, but we are older than the baby.
You're not older than me for sure. Yes, so what I meant by that, don't make the discussion of you're being too old or too be young. Your body requires more sleep, and 9 to 10 hours is something that we should do bare minimum without saying that. Babies require more sleep because they're growing even faster than you. That's why they need more sleep to recover. They basically just eat and they sleep. Yeah, now you learn new stuff and you move around more, but imagine your brain requires a lot of energy to compensate everything that you do. You're learning, right? Sit down, don't worry. Not putting you at the spot. Yes, so as we grow older, your sleep might be, the hours of sleep might be reducing, but there is a reason, because you don't move that much enough as you move when you're younger. So you realize that the reasons behind you need this much of sleep is because you're growing, absolutely. And the second factor is your age. Those two factors considering, you can manage your sleep, and if you're not getting enough, you need to strive more to get more. Cool? So first slide was why do we need sleep, the benefits of sleep. Second slide was how much sleep do you need, and I guess you guys have clarity about what we've just discussed. Cool? Moving on to the next one. A sleep cycle. Who here can tell me anything about sleep cycle? Yes, please. Yes.
As part of the sleep cycle, the REM part of the sleep cycle is
Yes.
the deep sleep.
Yes.
And that's the part where we develop the most, I think.
That is the part where we...
Develop the most, and that's the part where we dream.
Yes, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
that's all I
Part of it is right. Yes, it could get a little complicated and overwhelming, but why we're telling you this is because if you understand what exactly happens when you sleep, you will have better understanding and importance to why we need to sleep more. Cool? Sleep cycle is something, how they discover the sleep cycle or how they know how many sleep cycles are there. They actually had subjects almost 50 or 65 years back. There's a study that I can, if you guys are interested, I can send you. They put electromagnetic pulses in their head. Trivia. And they made them sleep. And the subjects realized that the sleep is not a linear thing. That you sleep and you get up and you recover. Sleep goes into phases. And there are 4 phases that we need to discuss today. When you go to sleep, the first phase is going to be non-REM. What does that mean? Your sleep divided into 4 stages, and the 4 stages are divided into 2 parts. There are non-REM 1, non-REM 2, and non-REM 3 sleep. Those are one chunk of sleep. And then the second division is going to be REM sleep. Overall, they make it up to 4 stages of sleep. The non-REM sleep, imagine yourself, you just going onto the bed and closing your eyes. So first 15 to 20 minutes, that time that you take to fall asleep is known as light sleep. If you're sleeping for 8 hours, the non-REM sleep is going to be 5% of total sleep. So you're not spending much of time here. Yeah? Physiologically, you will be half asleep, half awake. Your heart rate will be still high. Your body's core temperature will still be high. That means you're just getting ready to sleep. So non-REM sleep is known as light sleep. The second sleep stage is non-REM 2, also known as deep sleep. So now deep sleep is almost up to 25% of total sleep. What does that mean? When you go to sleep, from light sleep you fall into a deep sleep, where your body's temperature physiologically goes down. Your heart rate goes down. Who knows here what is the resting heart rate for a human body? Should be ideally. Yes. 80? It's a little bit high. Yes. No, that's towards the higher beats is much higher. Now your heart rate, if you're not doing anything much and you're awake, it could be between 80 to 90 beats. That means if you're sleeping, your heart rate has to go down so you can go in something called parasympathetic nervous system. That's your rest and digest system. That means there is no external stress. You are here to now ready to sleep and recover. You don't have any stress. That means your heart rate does not have to pump lot of blood to keep you alive. Make sense? So your heart rate goes down. Now, the indication of your good health is on your resting heart rate. Let me tell you why. If you have a high blood pressure, your parents or grandparents may have it. My grandparents had it. My parents had it. That means the resting heart rate, when you're actually resting and sleeping, your resting heart rate goes up to almost 80 to 100. Now, if you are guys awake and not moving enough, your heart rate is between 80 to 100. That means you do not go in that sleep cycle if your heart rate is up. What does that mean? It's a vicious cycle. If you don't sleep properly, you're going to have higher blood pressure. Higher blood pressure, you don't sleep properly. So that's why resting heart rate is very imperative. Resting heart rate should be between ideally 60 to 70 beats. And how do you manage that? You get up, you check your watch. Ideally, watches are not really accurate, but it gives you some ballpark. You check your heart rate. It says 60 beats per minute. Good. I'm good. I was resting. Athletes who are being really active, and I'm guess you guys also, some of you, if you check your heart rate, it'll be less than 50 or round about 55 to 50 beats per minute. What does that mean? Your heart, when it's stronger, does not have to beat that faster to keep you alive. And the resting heart rate is direct connection with how healthy you are that way. When you be more athletic, when you do lots of exercises and stay healthy, eat healthy 3 hours before, and all the rules and regulations that you follow, eventually your heart rate has to get strong because the energy levels are higher and it does not have to beat that faster. Cool, that's a good health indication because blood pressure, medication will go down because blood pressure, when you have high blood pressure, your heart rate is quite high. So, non-REM physiological changes could be your resting heart rate goes down, your body's core temperature goes down, and there is no brain activity. That means your brain is resting. No work. That's the only time in the entire day your brain is resting. When you're awake, practically your brain is working. And it spends, one more trivia, it spends almost 25% of energy in a day. Your brain is working harder than your muscles. It has the circumference of 7% of your body weight. The entire body weight, brain has 7%, but it consumes 20 to 25% of energy of your day. That means it has to rest. It cannot be working like a machine. Rest only will happen for the brain in deep restorative sleep for the brain. That's going to be your deep sleep, and your third section is non-REM restorative sleep. So your brain is resting only in these two. It's not active. From that deep sleep, you go to restorative sleep. So what's the difference between deep and restorative sleep? If anybody can tell me here. Yes.
Sir, in deep sleep, you're just in sleep, your body isn't fixing up your body. But when you enter the third stage of restorative sleep, your body starts producing hormones for your growth, plus it starts repairing all the damaged tissues of the activity of the day.
You're absolutely right. Yes, deep sleep is preparing you to go into deeper sleep. And deeper sleep is where the recovery happens. Remember we spoke about rest and repair in a previous slide? This is the zone where you're actually recovering from your body's wear and tear. Whatever the activities that you've done physically and whatever the wear and tear has occurred the entire day, this is where you're recovering. So this is for your physiological health and for your muscle health and for your body health. This sleep is very imperative. And you will see how much time you're spending there. Almost 45%. And don't worry about the numbers, they can change. It's just the general rule of thumb that you're spending that much of time in that zone. But restorative sleep, as I said, helps you grow stronger and taller because they release the growth hormone. And you will be in a restorative sleep roundabout in the middle zone. So if you're sleeping for 8 to 9 hours, it's going to be somewhere between 3 to 4 hours. That's the peak of your restorative sleep, ideally. Yeah, you release growth hormone. It helps you in multiple things. Most important, helps you in recovery and repair of the muscle, the growth hormone, and makes you taller. Once you finish that, what do you think the fourth and the final stage will be? REM. What does REM stands for? Yes, tell me. Yes. Perfect. What exactly happens in rapid eye movement?
Their eyes are continuously moving behind their eyelids
True. Why do you think that happens?
because they are dreaming in that stage.
Amazing. So can you say that if you're dreaming more, you are in REM zone?
Yes.
Absolutely. What else you can tell me about REM? No? Cool. REM is going to be standing for rapid eye movement, restorative sleep for your brain. Now, the previous one said the brain was sleeping in deep and restorative sleep. Here, your brain is working to its full capacity. And why is it doing that? Because during the day, whatever that you've learned, it goes into 3 phases for the brain. There's something called processing. That means whatever that you learn now, you'll process that in some part of the hippocampus. That's your learning zone of the brain. And when you're going to sleep, it's going to consolidate. That means it's going to divide sections. And then going to, on top of priority, if you think, you tell your brain, a subconscious mind, I want to remember this, it will make sure that it goes into long-term memory. And some of the things go into short-term memory. They are difficult to recall, and long-term memory will be easier to recall. So consolidating phase and then saving them as a data is going to happen in the REM. Cool? Also, your eyes are moving rapidly because you're dreaming. Now, when you dream, multiple things happens. But most important, it helps you process the day the way it happened and helped you recall the day properly the next day. So when you're sleeping, the brain literally shrinks because it's in the cavity, right? Your skull. Inside there is a cavity. So it cannot expand like other organs. So only one way of actually doing all of that activity is actually shrinking. So it shrinks, makes space between the brain and the skull, and removes all the toxin. All the toxins which are basically built up during the day is going to get removed by your lymphatics and drainage system in the middle of the night when the REM is happening. So it's a very important phase of the sleep for your brain health. But that's the one which takes most of the disturbance. Why is that so? Because that phase happens towards the end of the sleep cycle. So let me give you an example. I give you an example. You guys are studying, right? In the middle of the night, how much ever time that you're studying and not going to sleep on time. But next day, you have a hard stop that you have to get up at 5 a.m. Cool? If you're sleeping for 8 hours, first half hour, 4 hours is going to be restorative sleep for your physical health. But next to the 4 hours mostly is going to be for your brain. So now when you sleep, instead of 8 hours, 5 hours, you're not getting enough of REM sleep, which is helping your brain to recover. So whatever that you studied, chances are next day you're not going to remember it. Because your brain did not recover. It was working the entire day. It was working in the night. And when it's supposed to get rest and actually consolidate all the memories, it did not get time to do that. So when you get up next day, first of all, you're going to be grumpy, anxious, and stressed about not remembering things. So REM for brain happens, as I said, at the end of the cycle, and try to sleep the whole cycle as much as you can. Yeah? Let me explain where does it happen. So continuation of sleep cycle in this status, stage 4, stage 3, stage 2, stage 1, and awake. Don't worry about the stages. Let's just focus here. Cool? When you start sleeping from there, something happened. Cool. Sorry for that. When you start sleeping from awake moment, you fall into stage 1, which is light sleep, which is light purple. Then you go into deep sleep, all the physiological changes that we discussed. Then you come to restorative deep sleep. And from here, you move into waves, go back to deep, deeper, and then REM. When you're in REM, you are very close to being awake. So, when you're in REM, if you see the REM is just not that much at the start of the sleep, and this particular cycle is happening towards the end, but deep sleep is not here that deep enough. Yeah? So the deep actually happens most of the start of the sleep, and REM happens at the end of sleep. One cool factor when you are in REM sleep, your brain actually paralyzes your body. Literally it happens. Basically, when you are dreaming, you can physically must be in dream moving around and doing crazy stuff. But physically, you cannot do that. If you do that, that'll be hurting your body and hurting somebody else that's sleeping next to you. Cool? So body paralyzes you. So your only eyes can move, but you're just sleeping. You cannot move. So you've ever wondered, actually, you're dreaming something and you want to do something you cannot do, but you're actually feeling like you've been trapped? Nobody had that. Okay, maybe it's young thing. We've been adult, we have sleep paralysis always. It's known as the phenomena known as sleep paralysis. Yeah? So sleep paralysis happens when you're actually doing an REM. Your body gets paralyzed and you cannot move, and it's a very common thing that happens. Basically, body's just trying to save you from hurting yourself and hurting other people. Cool. So REM happens towards the end, deep sleep happens forward. Now this particular one cycle, this is the one cycle that comes from here, goes all the way to REM. It takes 90 minutes to 110 minutes, ideally. Yeah? So you want to have one sleep cycle. If it is 90 minutes to 110, you want to have at least 5 to 6 of them in one sleep cycle. Absolutely. So try to aim at least for 9 hours sleep, and you should get around about 5 to 6 sleep cycles in total. Yeah? Any questions about sleep cycle? Yes. I'm asking questions now because it's kind of a little complicated, so I wanted to, before I move on forward. Yes.
But sometimes you don't dream at night.
That's a good question. We still trying to understand sleep. And there is no logical answer for me to actually tell you that if you do not dream, you're not recovering. Chances are you are still recovering. But saying that if you don't dream, you're not recovering, I totally don't have answer for this. But I can find that out and let you know. But some days you don't dream, absolutely, and some days you dream a lot. And when you don't dream, those are the days that you don't sleep properly, most of the time. And when you dream a lot, you have been really active. Body, it's a good question. Let me go on to the second, zone. If you're not sleeping one day properly, you're going to sleep debt. And body next day will prioritize to recover zone that you haven't recovered. Let's say, you sleep for 4 hours or 5 hours one day, you're going to recover this zone, but you haven't recovered the REM. So there are days that you're actually having multiple dreams. Have you observed that? Yes, your body is just prioritizing your REM sleep, nothing much. That's why you sometimes have confusions like, why am I having so many dreams off lately? Chances are you've not been sleeping properly and not having REM that often. Yeah? But there is always room for error. We are 7 billion here. We do not know every human that dreaming every day or not dreaming every day. So there are always chance for having an abnormality. That's what it can be. So I cannot tell you for sure if you're not dreaming, you're not actually sleeping well. Chances are you are sleeping well. But if you focus on your sleep for next 2 weeks and you sleep for 9 hours, you'll be dreaming. For sure, I hope so. Yes?
So why do we dream?
When do we dream?
Why do we dream?
Why do we dream? Ooh, okay. To be honest, most of the time when you dream, the dreams are related to your day-to-day activity or something that you've been thinking to doing a lot. So your subconscious mind that you're training, that is what you actually dream most of the time. So your dreams are very related. I'll give you an example. If you're trying to do something for really few days, there are chances that you're not sleeping and stressing about it. Your subconscious mind actually puts that in somewhere in your brain, and then you kind of doing that, or you're trying to do that thing in your dream. Make sure, like if you want to go watch a movie and you could not watch for like 3 weeks, and 2 days you don't sleep properly, chances are you will have that dream that you're going to watch that movie. Ideally, yes. So it's just how you train your subconscious mind and tell yourself that you want to do something and you might not able to do something, and then in dream that you do. That is one of the valid reasons that I've said, because that's very relatable. Most of your dreams are dreams that you want to do something. I guess, hope it is with me, but I don't know about the young kids today. Right? No? Yes? Wrong? No? Yes?
Why can't we remember our dreams?
Yes, good question. Now we're going into a very psychological mode. Why can't we remember dreams? We can't remember dreams entirely, but we can remember the fraction of it. That's what I can tell you. I don't have I don't want to tell you something which I don't know. So I will only tell you that it's not that we don't remember dreams. We do remember dreams, but we don't know the start and the end of the dream. So we just know some part of the dream. And there could be several psychological reasons or scientific reasons behind it that people are still finding out. But I can find out a valid answer for you and let you know. I guess most it's getting recorded, and a lot of kids who are not attending are going to send me the question. So please send me that question if you can, and I'll get back to you for that, for sure. Yes, question and answer session is going to happen later after the... So if it is regarding sleep cycle, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll take the questions at the end of the session. Yeah, it is about sleep cycle? Yes, tell me.
How does nightmares affect the sleep cycle?
How does?
Nightmares.
Nightmares?
Yes.
Nightmares is also called sleep paralysis. Yes.
Yeah.
Nightmares happens... how does nightmare happens, you're asking? Good question again. Nightmares will subconsciously, you will be scared of something. You must have watched a horror movie. That is how I used to have nightmares. But nightmares could be a variety of things that you have a fear of. Yeah, and that is when the nightmare could happen, mostly. Again, it's just about training your subconscious mind. You're telling yourself that you are kind of scared, or you want to get something done, or you want to do something. Chances are you will have that dream sooner or later within the next few days or few months. That is how the nightmares are. I used to have nightmares when I used to watch horror movies. Trust me, I used to get scared in the middle of the sleep. Because of the sleep paralysis, I couldn't move. And I used to think that someone is sitting on my chest. Yes, that might happen during the later times of your years, but that's what sleep paralysis that I was talking about. That you have those abnormal dreams that you're really scared of, and you want to run away from something and you cannot, and you feel like someone is sitting on your chest. That's sleep paralysis. Yes.
Coming from personal experience, why do we sometimes speak in our sleep?
Good question. By the way, speaking happens in this phase, level 3, deep restorative sleep. Sleepwalking also happens in deep restorative sleep. When you actually, in an REM sleep, you kind of only having nightmares or sleep paralysis. That's because of brain is really active. Speaking again, because there are very limited studies on this, and every study is very different. You write down this question to me again, and I will come back with the valid answer that I think it's appropriate. I just don't want to tell you something which is not right. Yes.
During sleep paralysis, we acknowledge that we're paralyzed, but we can also see our surroundings. So are we awake during sleep paralysis?
Yes, you can open your eyes in sleep paralysis, but you cannot move.
So when you're paralyzed, that happens during the sleep. So are you sleeping or are you awake or is it a combination of both?
Combination of both. Yes. So I've had once wherein my previous job, sorry to put it, but this is I think related, so I can speak about it. My previous job, I used to work in the night and I used to sleep in the daytime. So whenever I used to go in a new hotel and I used to sleep, I used to always get scared, so I used to keep the windows open. And I sleep. I could go in the middle of the sleep, and after 4 hours, I could open my eyes, but I cannot move. And then when I sleep and get up after a few hours, it was like a dream. So I know I opened my eyes, looked everywhere in the room, and then I slept. It's an anecdotal experience, but I'm sure studies have shown that you can open your eyes. There is only one control that you have in the entire body is to open your eyes and close your eyes. That's why if you ever imagine, there are videos everywhere. I don't tell you guys to see, but there are videos on YouTube that actually see sleep paralysis has been shot, where people are opening the eyes and moving around and sleeping. It's just the normal phenomenon. You don't have control apart from opening eyes and closing eyes. Yeah, that's for sure. Yes. Lucid dreaming. Oh, very inspirational. Lucid dreaming is something I would look at it as challenging, inspirational, and thought-provoking. So lucid dreaming, whenever you have, that's why most of the time you should have pen and paper next to your bed. Whenever you have lucid dreaming, you should write these experiences because you might find some inspiration to do something out of this. Yeah? Lucid dreaming is dreaming more about feeling the reality is happening next to you for unlimited of time. Like also, lucid dreaming is something that it's subconscious theory wherein you want to do something for a really long time and you actually doing it. That could be a lucid theory wherein you have, let's say you want to write a thesis about something and you've been thinking about doing that and you're postponing it. In lucid dreaming, you will be doing that and you get ideas from your subconscious mind to write those things. So when you get up in the morning, you may have some ideas to write those theses that you were procrastinating because you did not get it before. Yeah, so lucid dreaming is something that you actually can be helpful instead of just normal dreaming. Questions about sleep cycle? Yes, okay, tell me. Well, controlling what? What are you, in your dreams, you're doing something that you could not do in the physical world? Yes. So you're telling me in a physical world, you're saying that you could not, you want to do the exam, which is coming next week, and now you dreamed about the exam and you passed the exam. Is that what you're saying? Huh? You got the answers. You know you always have answers because you actually read everything. But as I said, the consolidating memory part, it wasn't important for you that time, so you just brushed it. And it got registered in your subconscious mind, in your brain, but it did not go to the longer term memory. So when you have lucid dreamings, you actually profiling all the memory data that you have, and that is when sometimes in dream you get ideas and answers that you don't have in physical world, which does make sense. Now suppose if I tell you to read the entire book, and if I tell you to recite the entire book next to me, you can't. But maybe if I give you that as a task and tell you, I give you 15 days, you have to tell me from page 1 to page 300. Chances are after 15 days you would not know, but the effort that you put to remember things, it goes into consolidating memories. And now in consolidating memories, it either can go to short-term memory or long-term memory. Long-term memory, you will always remember the crux of the story, but not the entire story. It does not mean that you don't remember most of the stuff. They are there in short-term memory, they'll be there for a few days, and if you don't use them back or recall them back, they're gonna go. So lucid dreaming will help you to remember those things, which that time when you read it wasn't important, but later you feel, oh, I remember now. And then you can write. That's why you should have a pen and paper next to you. I think we'll move on to the next section, and then you can ask me questions later. Sorry for that. I guess it's not working. Yeah. Yeah, done. Very nice. Sorry for that. Let's understand the nutrition aspect of it. What you need to eat to sleep better. Absolutely, what you eat directly affects your sleep quality and the quantity. If you're eating next to your bedtime, what generally physiologically happens, and what food actually make you sleep in all the sleep cycles, go to your restorative sleep, go to your REM sleep. Cool? Do you have any ideas what foods that you should not eat before what foods that we eat will start? Yes, tell me.
Usually we should not have junk food before bed.
Perfect. What did you eat yesterday in the night?
Chapati with broccoli.
Homemade food.
Yeah,
Homemade
broccoli.
food. Good, good, good. You don't eat junk food? Very nice. Cool. You're right. You should not eat any processed food. You should not eat a lot of oily foods, and you should not eat foods which is very spicy. We will cover that in the next slide. Why does that happen? Yes.
Never eat carbohydrates before bed because it gives you extra energy.
Not really true. In fact, foods that you need to eat, there are carbohydrates, but I'll tell you the mechanism of it and what sort of carbohydrates that you need to eat. Yeah? Cool. What to eat for a better sleep. First, power of tryptophan. Who knows tryptophan? What is tryptophan here? Anybody knows? Cool. Don't worry about it. Tryptophan is an amino acid. It's a peptide, basically, which is a precursor. What does precursor means? Which helps two happy hormones in the body to release. Those happy hormones are serotonin. That's a mood uplifting hormone when you feel really nice and good. And the second hormone is a melatonin hormone. Who knows about melatonin here? Yes? What is melatonin?
I'm not sure what exactly melatonin is, but you get like pills, like melatonin pills. If you can't sleep at night, you have to take them, I think.
Yes, you know all the wrong stuff, but yes, yes. Your body is very, very tricky. When you actually depend upon any medication, body will depend on that medication, absolutely. So it will leave its natural process of increasing or inducing melatonin in your body when you actually depend upon medication. Cool? But yeah, you're right. Melatonin is a sleep-inducing hormone. That is very important for you all guys, and for us, for me as well. So tryptophan is an amino acid, a peptide, which helps to release sleep-inducing hormone called melatonin and happy hormone called serotonin. Now, when you sleep, you have to understand your body has to be in parasympathetic state. What does that mean? That your heart rate has to go down. So there should not be any external stress. There should be, your body should be in rest and digest. You're recovering, you're resting, your heart rate is going down. It's all good, 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 good. Yes, so tryptophan will help you do that. It'll relax you basically. It'll help release the melatonin. It help you release serotonin. But the foods that it has could be a challenge for a lot of you guys because some of you are vegetarian and some of you are non-vegetarian. But I tried covering both the options as much as we can. So tryptophan-rich foods are turkey, one of the very good food that you can have, a lean source of meat and high amount of protein. And you guys should eat more protein. Also, tryptophan is amino acid, it's part of the protein anyways. Second, white meat is going to be chicken. Chicken has higher amount of tryptophan. Third food could be bananas. Banana has a lot of tryptophan. So all my vegetarian friends here, you can have bananas, not plenty of it, but in part wherein you actually get the benefit of tryptophan. Sorry. And any calcium-rich food, which can be yogurt, milk, tofu, all those foods will actually help have more tryptophan. Cool. So to sleep better, you need to have tryptophan. But how does tryptophan works? How does they release melatonin and serotonin? That's the two new foods are connection with carbohydrates. You need to eat whole grains and cereals. That is when you actually can release the insulin in the body, and the insulin will take that tryptophan that you've eaten with other food to the brain. Otherwise, tryptophan by itself cannot go directly to the brain. So it releases melatonin in connection with carbohydrates. So you need to eat whole fruit, whole grains and cereals. Yeah, that's your connection with carbohydrates. Then, next one is, sorry, I guess there's a problem there. Food high in magnesium. Why magnesium? Can anybody tell me why magnesium? No? Okay. Magnesium helps you relax the muscles and reduce the stress and anxiety. So magnesium itself is very helpful. And magnesium will come in foods like leafy vegetables. Who is eating your leafy vegetables? Everybody, I hope. Yes. Leafy vegetables, almonds, pumpkin seeds is high in magnesium. You should all add all of these foods which will help you sleep better. And the fourth one is going to be food high in calcium, as we discussed before. It's going to be milk and other milk products as such. That's going to help you sleep better. Now, food high in calcium actually will help you release serotonin. It will bind with your tryptophan amino acid, the food that you eat, go to your brain and release the melatonin. It's a very melatonin-inducing food. So that's why you guys drink milk before you sleep. Yeah, I think most of the parents, I've been grown up by giving glass of milk before sleeping. So it's very helpful actually to sleep you better. Cool. So what are the foods that you can't eat before sleeping? There are only 3 categories in this. Yes, tell me. Caffeine, absolutely. So caffeine actually is yes.
Anything with capsaicin? Spicy foods?
Spicy foods, yes. Spicy food will give you heartburn and it will hamper your quality of the sleep. So yes, don't eat spicy food. Same thing with oily food. Oily food and greasy food will give you actually stomach upsets and also can give you spicy along with oily can give you heartburn. So you must avoid all the pizzas in the middle of the night and Doritos chips and all those spicy food which has cheese and spicing in them. And caffeine. So caffeine, spicy food and greasy food. You know how much time that you should not have caffeine before you sleep? Minimum 6 to 8 hours, absolutely. So if you're sleeping at 9 o'clock, ideally for young people and adults here, you guys should be actually stopping your caffeine intake 6 to 8 hours. Foods that helps, okay, nevertheless, keep it there. We're going to play a small game here. As we discussed so many foods just now, I want you to just let me know if the food is actually will help you to sleep better or not. Cool? So please. Banana, as you already know, will help you. Why banana though? What does it have? We just discussed. Magnesium? You could be right, a bit of magnesium, but more tryptophan. Tryptophan is the amino acid which is going to help your brain to release those happy hormones. So yes, banana. Next one. Pizza. Tell me guys. No, we are right. So you guys not going to go out for the movies and eat pizzas? No, right? Yes, eat pizza sometime. It's good. Yes, next food. Coke. Should we drink or no? Before our sleep? No, because it has? Amazing. Next one. Cherries. What do you think about cherries? I didn't discuss cherries. Do you think it's nice? It's bad? It's good? It's bad? Who says it's bad? Tell me. Raise your hands. It's bad? Who says it's good? Why you guys are in between? It's either yes or no. Tell me. Raise your hand. It's fine. Even if it's wrong answer. Cherries, you think it's good to sleep? Cherry is good? You guys don't have answer? Okay. Cherries are actually good because it's a precursor for melatonin. So it's sleep-inducing hormone again. So melatonin will help you sleep better. Next food, Doritos, the best food in the world. Absolutely. No, it's not nice? Why? Spicy food, amazing. You guys know what to eat now. And the last one. Why? Calcium. You ideally don't have calcium, but you have whole grains. Whole grains will help you release insulin, and on top of it, it has banana. So actually, this is a very good night meal for you to eat. Cool. So you guys are aware what to eat, what not to eat, right? So it's not going to hamper your sleep. In fact, quality of sleep will improve if you're actually eating good food. Moving on. Effects of sleep deprivation on your health. Cool. I have divided this part into 4 or 5 effects which are related to all of you guys. So we're just going to run them quickly. Physiological impact. As a physiological impact, it could be rest and repair. You think if you're not sleeping well, you're not going to recover properly? Absolutely. So it's going to hamper your recovery. You're going to be more tired the next day, and you may not be able to perform the way physically that you have to perform. If you have any sports, if you're signed up for any sport, you may not be actually doing your bit, what you're supposed to do, if you haven't slept properly. That's why as an athlete, we always tell people to sleep more for your physical health. Second, hormonal health. Who knows here cortisol? Cortisol is a stress hormone. Absolutely. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and there is a good marriage between stress hormone and melatonin. So cortisol and melatonin. See, by evolutionary point of view, when you actually gotten up, when the sun rises, your cortisol has to go up, so you can go and do things. Yeah? When sun goes down, it's a sunset, your melatonin starts releasing, and it's making you ready for a sleep. That's just the evolution. That's why in the night when we sleep, melatonin releases according to your sleep cycle. So if you're sleeping at 9 o'clock, melatonin will start releasing at 7 or 8 o'clock. But one thing that hampers releasing of melatonin, tell me what? Yes. Absolutely. So you guys, these lights, TV lights that you are in is actually telling you that it's tricking your brain, that telling you it's still light outside, it's the sunlight. Yeah, and it does not release the melatonin. That's why sometimes you have sleep insomnia, that you don't feel sleepy that much. Chances are you're just on the phone or watching something which is telling the mind or brain, tricking the brain that it's still light outside. Questions? I'll take later. I'll ask you first, don't worry. Yeah? So hormonal health, your stress hormone, cortisol will be up. The more stressed that you are, more anxious you will be. More anxious you are, more grumpy you will be. It's just there's a vicious cycle. So you want to reduce your stress hormone cortisol in the night. Yeah? We will go with different steps that we can do actually to reduce cortisol level later. Cool. Your hormonal health. There are 2 hormones more that I want to talk about. That's your appetite hormone. Ghrelin. Who knows here ghrelin? Ghrelin? Yes. Absolutely. It's a hunger-inducing hormone. There are 2 appetite hormones. Hunger-inducing hormone called ghrelin and a satiety hormone called leptin. Why are we telling you this? Because when you don't sleep properly and you carry on with your day, the next day your ghrelin is going to be very high up. That means you'll constantly feel hungry. You haven't slept properly, you're grumpy, and you're now hungry too. And to add that into it, your satiety hormone, leptin, does not get released that much in your body. So it's a vicious cycle again. You eat more food and you don't feel satiated, so you eat more. What will happen if you just keep eating and not moving? You will be overweight, absolutely, because energy expenditure is high. So one of the reasons that people are gaining weight is because they're not sleeping well. So half of your battle will be win if you just sleep better. Cool. That's about your hormonal health. That there are a cascade of hormones that actually gets affected while you don't sleep more. But I guess those 3 hormones is something that you should be worrying about. That's why we just spoke about 3. But there are a lot of other things physiologically and hormonally happens. But we just covered a bit of them. The next one could be your heart health. Oh, blood glucose is there. Heart health. What happens to the heart health when you don't sleep properly? You don't need a mic, just shout. Cool. Yes. What did we speak about resting heart rate? So your heart rate will be constantly high up because your heart is working really hard. So your blood pressure will be high also, which is very stressful for your heart, and you may have cardiovascular diseases. Yeah, during the later, not because you did not sleep for one night, but over the period of years and years, it's accumulative chronic stress that can actually have your heart a cardiovascular diseases. The next one is blood glucose. What happens to a blood glucose? Okay, let me explain. When you eat any carbohydrates, to its basic form, it gets digested in your blood, digested in your stomach. Then from your small intestine, it gets released in your blood as a glycogen. That glucose only have two ways to go. Sorry, before that, when the glucose get detected in the blood, the pancreas will release insulin to take that sugar and move somewhere else. Because high level of blood sugar is toxic for your health. You cannot have high blood sugar levels. So there are only two ways that the sugar can go. Where does it think it goes? It's already in the blood. It goes, yes, tell me. No, it doesn't. But no, you need a glucose, but yes. Not you are very smart. It goes to muscles, yeah. Muscle is the bigger the muscle, the more glycogen storage you have. So when you have more glycogen storage, basically you can have more energy. That's what it means. So if you're spending more energy throughout the day and you've been active, you can get away by eating more carbohydrates because then you're using that as an energy. But if you're not moving, that glucose, your muscles are already filled with glycogen, that glucose is going to go convert into fat. That's why carbohydrates gets a bad rep, that it helps you gain weight, but chances are we are as a human not moving that much and not spending that much of energy. So coming back to blood glucose level, if you're not sleeping well, even if your entire system of releasing the insulin and taking that blood sugar level and putting it in the muscle hampers. And when it hampers for a long chronically period of time, you will have something called insulin resistance. That's the first step for yes. So it's a metabolic disease that you should be all wary about. That's why we tell you not to eat carbohydrate just before your bed and go to sleep. Your food, you should be eating at least 2.5, 3 hours before. That's the idea. Cool? So blood glucose level hampers. There is a beautiful study which happened in 2015 or 2016 where 10 to 15 healthy adults with their blood sugar levels were just proper went on sleep deprivation test. So they slept just for 5 hours. So there one group who slept for 8 hours, there's one group who slept for 5 hours. Just for 2 weeks, and the healthy group, which was sleeping for 5 hours a day for 2 weeks, they got insulin resistance. So your body chronically under stress so much that actually taking the blood sugar level and putting it in a muscle mass is the last thing that body wants to do. It wants to just keep you alive. And it keeps you alive by just beating your heart. So sleep is really important. It affects the entire facets of your life. And all the physiological overall health will get affected because if you're not sleeping well. Yeah? So those are the effects that you have of sleep. How to improve sleep? I think this is going to be a last section for us. How to improve sleep. Any ideas here? How can we improve our sleep? Yes. Don't need a mic. You can just raise your hand and shout. Schedule? Absolutely. Create a system, guys. Create a system. Superhero schedule. Yes. What is that schedule could be? How does it look like? You go to sleep and wake up at the same time. That will create an internal clock, which is known as circadian rhythm. It's your body's internal clock that you're telling your body to go to sleep at same time and get up at same time. That will improve the quality and the quantity of your sleep. So yes, superhero schedule. What about the sleep environment? Yes, you can just shout, yes. It has to be cool. Yes, we discussed. The temperature should be between 17 to 20 degrees. Ideally, that will help you sleep better. Anything else that we can do to improve our environment? Absolutely. If you have to reduce all the noise and all the lights. In fact, I would say sleep in an environment which is very dark. That will help you sleep better. Anything else that we can do? Play? Yes, you can play. Why do we play? And what we can play? You want to do that just before you sleep? No, we're talking about the environment that you're gonna sleep in. So yes, you will get tired the entire day, but you do not want to have your heart rate going up just before you sleep, because it's not gonna come down just when you want to sleep, isn't it? So you to go in your sleep cycle will take time. Yeah? Yes. Absolutely. It can be you can't wear restricted clothing so your blood flow doesn't happen. Yes, you have to wear comfortable clothing. Yes. Absolutely. We're going to come to that point next, but that's a good point. Yes, in your environment, you don't want to have any blue lights emitting anywhere. How about taking a hot shower? Do you think it'll help? Yes? How will it help? Tell me. Yes. Who? Yes. But hot shower will increase the temperature.
It
no?
like reduces your stress level because like
Yes.
directly when the hot water hits you, it like reduces their stress.
Very smart. Absolutely. She's given the answer. You need to take hot shower not only because it'll increase the temperature, and when you from hot temperature go in your bedroom, which is already cool, I hope, because it's going to be cool, it gives your body signal it's time to sleep. So it's going to release more melatonin. Absolutely. Also, when you take hot shower, it relaxes your body. Absolutely, bang on. It relaxes your body, relaxes your muscle, relieves the tension, and reduce the unnecessary stress that you must be having. So please do, I encourage you to take a hot shower before you go to sleep and check for 2 weeks how does it work. So the cozy sleep schedule will be, it has to be cool, it has to be comfortable, you have to take shower, blinds, that any pesky light that must be coming and like hampering your sleep. Absolutely. What do you think about 3-to-1 method? What is that? Any ideas here? What is that? Tell me.
I'm not sure, but isn't it sort of a military method?
It's kind of a middle method, but military doesn't allow you to have phones on you. But yes, 3-to-1 method is basically very simple. 3 hours before, no food. So if you're sleeping at 9 p.m., you want to have your dinner between 6:30 to 7. That's also 2 hours. 5:30, 6 o'clock. So you can eat as much as you want, and it gets digested in the body, and it's already in your bloodstream. So when you eat food, it's very energy consuming. And if you if you eat just before sleeping, because you're consuming a lot of energy, your body's core temperature will rise. Now, as we said, before sleeping, we have to have cooler temperatures of the core. So eating just before the bedtime is not really helpful. So you want to eat minimum 3.5 hours before. The second 2 is 2 hours before the bedtime. Don't drink any liquids. The screen time is coming 1 hour before. So 2 hours before that, don't drink any liquid, just because you will just get up in the middle of the sleep. And we don't want to hamper those good sleep cycles which are you already there. You're already in deep sleep and now you want to pee. So you want to awake, break the sleep cycle, come back, and it'll take more 90 minutes to be in that sleep cycle. So you don't want to have that broken sleep cycle and not to recover. So yes, don't drink water 2 hours before. 1 hour before is going to be blue light emit zone. That means no screen time. Yes, no screen time. So 1 hour before, don't want to. Again, your brain will get into trick saying that it's awake outside and it won't reduce melatonin. Sorry, it won't induce melatonin. You won't sleep. So superhero schedule, go on sleep at the same time, get up at the same time. There are things that you could do to make a comfortable environment, and don't eat 3 hours before you sleep, 2 hours before don't drink any water, and 1 hour before no screen time. So you are set to go to sleep. But there is one more thing you can do. What does this say? Yes, any ideas for this? You guys can just... Now when you say you want to read the book, what exactly happening to your brain and your body? Absolutely. So your sleep It's an environment where you're actually creating for your body to relax and reduce your heart rate, reduce your core temperature, and just go into rest and digest mode. So yes, reading is one of the options, and I guess you should read a bit. Next. Yes, I haven't heard you. Clear your mind how? Yes. You think journaling will help? If you want to clear your mind, you can just write your thoughts down. You could do that, and that relaxation will help by maybe say relaxation method. You could do deep breathing, meditation, absolutely. You have any?
No, I think this is more, this comes to the military method, where the military method basically you're supposed to focus on your breathing as you breathe it, and you should slowly relax all of your muscles from top to bottom.
Yes, you can do that. Absolutely. That's also come into two factors of a breathe work and something called meditation. So you can combine both those two. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do here is just to relax your body and make it primed to go to sleep. So it can be any method that relaxes you. Some people that could be just reading. Some people it could be maybe listening to a calm music. Some people it could be gentle stretching. Yes. Huh? White noises. You can wear a headphone which will help you listen to the white noise. Basically, a white noise is something that will help you induce melatonin faster and sleep you better. So you can actually put the headphones. For some people, wearing headphones and sleeping is going to be problematic, and you kind of, if you're sleeping with somebody, with your brothers and sisters, if they don't want to listen to a white noise, it's going to get a little uncomfortable for them. So I wouldn't suggest white noise as of now, but if you're okay with listening through headphones, it actually helps. Studies have shown that white noise helps to sleep better. Absolutely. Yeah, it's about this. Tell me. Absolutely. It relaxes your muscle, relieves the tension, so it can help to, massages can help. Hot showers, yes, you're right, relaxation. Also, there's something called inhaling essential oils, like lavender oil. So you can actually spray on your on your pillow, and it has helped. Several studies have helped to actually sleep better and sleep deeper, and quality of sleep is much higher. So yes, there are some things. Yes. Yes, it helps, but that's very anecdotal, and it's depending upon person to person. No, when I speak, I'm just trying to say in a way wherein there are studies which have done on this, and there is a proven proof that it has worked, but axe oil hasn't. It's good for when you actually have a cold. It's I don't get that word, ellipticus. That's something which actually has a calming effect. But yes, it might help for some, it might not. But something called lavender oil has actually proven to be helpful. So yes, please use if you want to use. So those are some techniques that can help you improve your sleep. So, in nutshell, what did we learn today? Tell me, one each. Yes, we learned about sleep. Absolutely, most important part, yes.
The importance of sleep?
Yes, the importance of sleep. Amazing how diet can affect our sleep. And one more, effects of chronic sleep deprivation. So anything and everything that you need to know at this age about sleep is here. Absolutely. Cool. Now I'm going to take questions. And if you have any unique questions, I hope I have answers of all of them. If I don't, I will try to find for you, absolutely, and I will get back to you. Yes, tell me, lady. Why do we snore? Snoring, there could be two different reasons. There's something called sleep apnea and something called a breathing issue. So what happens when you snore is you cannot breathe from your nose because your tongue rolls back. Because you're sleeping like this, your tongue rolls back on a. So how do you breathe? Breathe basically, there is an air pipe that through which you breathe, and your tongue rolls back over the air pipe. So you cannot breathe from your nose, and that is why you breathe from your... I wish I could show you the picture actually, so you'll understand a better of a throat picture wherein your tongue rolls back on a breathing pipe, and you cannot breathe from here, you have to breathe from your mouth. That's why basically, that's something called sleep apnea, which you, if you're breathing from mouth, guys, you're not recovering from your sleep, ideally. So it's a serious issue, you should go to the doctor and see it. Yes, that changes your appearance over the period of time. Also, you're not recovering because you do not go on your sleep cycles that often. No restorative sleep. So mouth breathing and sleep apnea is something that you should be wary about. Yes. So you saying that you were sleeping, you got awake, you spoke to your dad something. You were talking in your sleep, but you don't remember what you spoke. But was it, when you spoke, was it relatable to the context of your what dad asked? Like, what are you doing? And did you tell him I'm sleeping? No, what I mean... Oh yes, it can happen. Absolutely. So again, you go into the zone wherein you take the external information, you process it, you can actually have a conversation, but that conversation won't go long for that far because you again deep dive into a deep sleep. So you don't have that much of conscious of having a normal conversation. So you, if they would have checked your brain, your brain would have actually got to this zone of staying awake, going back into deep sleep very fast, where you can actually have a comprehension for some smaller conversation, but going back into deep sleep. So it can happen. It's one of cases, very anecdotal. So, but you can have a conversation, like for 1 or 2 words, and then you got to go back to sleep. You don't remember anything. Yes. You can sleep. You don't sleep enough. I can't hear you. Yeah, it's possible. People are walking in sleep. Laughing is nothing. Yes. What stage it can be happening? All of that, what stage do you think it can happen? Which area? Restorative, physical sleep. That is when you're actually talking. That is when you're actually walking. That is actually most of you laughing. That conversation. That happens between the deep and the restorative sleep. That's where you're actually physically going down. And there is no activity from the brain. So that's why there is no comprehension of, you don't remember what happened. Because brain is not active. It's just resting. Yes? No, so the brain has to work in a small sections, right? So now, let's say if I tell you to work for 1 hour and take 3 hours of break, will you be exhausted? Ideally, chances are no. And that is why the cycle is 90 minutes and your brain, REM, could be out of 10, 15 minutes, just to give you a number. So in entire time, just that 15 minutes of sections, maybe towards the end, it's half an hour, it's awake. And it has to do that because you will not remember what you've learned the day before if you do not do that. It's again called consolidating because it's taking everything and putting it in a storage facility where you can actually recall that information again. And also, if you're not in REM, you cannot move the toxins which are built up in the entire day through your lymphatic system. So it has to get up to do all of that, and that is why it's most active. But rest of the time, if you see, deep sleep is 45%. So that's a lot of chunk when your brain don't have any activity. Yeah, so it's resting enough, but we make difficult for brain to rest more by sleeping less. That is when the real problem arises. Yeah? It's depend person to person. So some people have preferences, some people don't. I don't want to suggest anything that you like it and maybe other people don't. or other people liked it and I suggested to you and you have infections or other problems with it. But ideally just find your comfort zone. Try different ones, because chances are if you stick to something, you're going to stick to throughout your life. So it's worth trying different stuff and find your comfort zone. Yeah, they do come up with a lot of, I would suggest, especially when it comes to spinal flexion and extension, that is what I'm more worried about when you're sleeping. So I want your spine to be as neutral as it can be. So what does spine flexion means? This is flexion. That means if your bed is very soft, you're going to sleep like this. Yeah, you guys are imagining what I'm saying? Yeah, so you're going to sink into it. So now you're pushing all your body weight in one center. So that's called spinal flexion. That's not healthy, absolutely. And sometimes it happens that beds are so hard and we have a natural tendency of sitting the entire day like this. That's called extension. So if you sleep like this, sit like this, your back is tight and you go to sleep and you sleep like this. Yeah? Yes, that happens, by the way. That's why we elevate the legs and then try to rest our lower backs. So extension and flexion of the spine is not really needed when you're sleeping. So you have to be more comfortable. You have to find the bed which is comfortable for you. Personal preference, but mostly I sleep on the back. If you're asking anecdotal question, on the back I feel more comfortable. I cannot sleep on my stomach. There are people, a lot of my clients, they sleep on stomach. Some people sleep on the side. Does not matter, as long as there is blood flow the entire body. What happens if you're sleeping at one side is sometimes there is no blood flow this side. So when you get up, you might get up real tired. But back can take the stress of you sleeping on the back the entire. That is what the back is built for. So it's personal preference, nothing really specific about it. Yes? You can, if you, let's say if you're reading a book and you can have a dream about that same book or the incident that you read. Yes. Yes. Yeah, it can happen, absolutely. Because in REM, your brain is more active, so it's listening. I think, listen, it's not a good learning method, to be honest. You don't want to have any noise. One anecdotal incident that you've gained something, but chances are most of the time you're not going on your deep sleep because there is external noise around you which is, even if it's soothing, it's not good. So you want to have as much less disturbance in your sleep as you can. So don't listen to, that's why my personal suggestion is, but yes. Sleepwalking. When you are in your restorative sleep, your physical stretch, you are in a normal, because it's a very complicated step, but you just get up, you're still sleeping, you do not remember anything because brain is not working and you're just able to move and walk around. You can be opening your eyes and seeing it through, but you will not remember anything. They say it affects 0.5 or 1% of the entire population in the world. So the chances are they're very small. It can be hereditary, predisposed sometimes, or sometimes it happens because of the chemical activity in brain. So there is no fixed a solution for it, actually. They're just trying to make you sleep as disturb-free as they can for you to recover better. And over a period of time, sometimes it comes, it goes, sometimes it is stay there. But there are different protocols. I don't want to give you wrong information. There are different protocols that goes into detail of how to take care of those people who has sleepwalking. So we can get back to that and give you some information to read. Yeah? Tend to listen to things. Give me one example. Yes. Do you get up? What I mean by that, were you could hear, process that information that you were in light sleep or you were awake? Good. Otherwise, you wouldn't remember what's happening if you're in deep sleep. So did that happen when you were awake? While you were or it happened in the middle of the sleep at 4 a.m.? I'll tell you what it could be, because there is a logical answer for this. I feel that when you go in your sleep cycle, when you are next to REM, you are very close to being awake. Now there, if any small disturbance of any noise, which did take place physiologically, I hope so. Are you hearing noises from out of nowhere? I don't think I can answer that question how, because that could be really anecdotal. But I can find some information if it has happened before and what could be that phenomena is. But the real question is that if you're hearing something, physiologically it has happened somewhere, maybe your listening senses are sharper enough and there is no external noise. So you could hear someone is banging noise, someone there, and you feel like, is it really happening? Is it not? You know what I'm saying? So, but because you're getting up from your sleep, you are somewhere next to the REM. If I play the sleep cycle chart, if you remember, you go into that zone, you come up, you're very close to awake sleep cycle. So even if in that awake sleep cycle, if you are in a dream, if I wake you up, you'll get up really fast. But if someone is in a restorative sleep, a deep sleep, you imagine if waking up somebody, they are still sleepy and you have to take a little more time to wake them up, they could be in a restorative physiological sleep because they're resting so much, they're not. But if you're in a brain sleep, you can get up faster. Because I'm very close to being awake. That could be. But if you're hearing things, I'm not really sure exactly what you're hearing. Could be a variety of things. So not really can give you answers of anything. Sorry for that. Let me get back to you something. I'll find. Yes. Any questions? Oh, here, this side. Yes, so I'll take this last question. I'll take one more question with you. Yes. Tell me. You. Yes. Cool. Good question. I like it. Circadian rhythms. What does that mean? Your body's internal clock. Now, if I tell you that you have to get up in the morning tomorrow, look at sun for 5 minutes, which is very healthy, and then go about your day, and then go to sleep at 9 p.m., okay, and then get up again at the same day. You do that for 1 month. Your body internally is attached to that clock. Now you travel. Let's say there are time zones if you've seen in the world. You travel. If you are a daytime here, maybe a nighttime on this side. Your body's internal clock was daytime there, but it's still daytime here, even if it's nighttime. So sleep hormones like melatonin does not get released. So you kind of does not get adjusted to the daytime there to nighttime there. And your body's internal clock mismatches. That's why you don't sleep. And to get accustomed to that, you need at least 2 or 3 days minimum. So if you happen to travel somewhere like to States, now for next 2 days, you might not be able to sleep that often. Does that make any sense? Yeah, so circadian rhythm is your answer. Yes.
I just had a question about dreams.
Dreams. Cool. Did you watch anything which was high up in the air? No, what I mean by that is, did you watch any movie or did you watch any TV show that you see? Because maybe you did not realize that, but so the power of subconscious mind is basically the things are happening not in your periphery, but they're happening around you. But you are kind of noticing them. So what do I mean by that? You might have seen something 3 months back, which was in a TV show, someone was levitating. Now that memory has gone somewhere back of your data transfer. But you've been not sleeping well. I'm just creating a scenario hypothetically. You've not been sleeping well, and you've been thinking about doing something that you wanted to do for really long. Now you've not been sleeping well. That means your REM is not getting enough of REM basically. And now there is a day that you slept a lot and you're dreaming a lot, and your REM is recovering. That could be the day, a right scenario at the right time, you dream about levitating. You know, so body can create external or hypothetical scenarios in your mind, but chances are mostly that comes from you have seen somewhere minutely you must have just seen it. Now, if I tell you to don't think about a blue elephant in the room at the moment, the first thing that you will think is the blue elephant. isn't it? So you basically must have put a seed somewhere in your mind, somewhere 3 months back, 4 months back. It can happen long back that you don't remember enough, and you dreamt about levitating. Because unless you do it, it won't happen. It has to go in your memory bank for you to actually have a creativity seed to you to dream about something. So most of the time it's your subconscious mind. When it comes to dreaming, it's all about subconscious mind, mostly. Cool. Any questions that you want to give? We are actually running out of time. Write them down with other kids and then send it to me. I will try my best. They are complicated ones I wasn't expecting. So kudos to you guys. I did not have at least 2 or 3 answers for the question. So I'm going to get back to you, study more about this and the integrities, and we'll give you the answers appropriate as it is. Cool. Just want to say, use this information as much as you can in your personal life, and tell your parents about this and other people how important it is to sleep. Yeah. So sleep well. Yeah. And dream big. That's what I can say. Yeah. I hope that was enjoyable though. Was it? Yes? You learned something new? Okay, good, good. Good to see you. Hope to see you soon. And you sleep more, guys, please. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Good afternoon, and thank you, sir. On behalf of the GLS family, I would like to thank Mr. Samir for sparing his valuable time and being with us today. We are very grateful to you, sir, for the wonderful session that we had, which will, I'm sure, definitely be beneficial for us students to improve the quality of our sleep and work life. So thank you once again, and I hope you all have a great day.